Hi guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com doing a quick week news recap of all major MMO news and announcements this week ending July 23rd, 2018. This is episode number 157 of the recap, and the first bit of news this week comes from Blizzard and involves World of Warcraft. So this last week, Blizzard quietly removed the battle chest from the game's store, so players no longer need anything but the game's latest expansion and a subscription to start playing everything World of Warcraft has to offer. In fact, you don't even need to buy Legion right now. A monthly subscription today gives you access to everything in WoW, even if you never owned it before. But if you want to try the new stuff in Battle for Azeroth on August 14th, you will need to buy it though. I suspect that they made this change to make it easier for new and returning players to just simply get back into WoW without worrying about buying previous and older expansions. And it's something I definitely approve of. Oh, and the new expansion patch is available to download now if anyone wants to go ahead and get that out of the way a couple of weeks early. Next up, also in subscription and more RPG news, Final Fantasy XIV revealed patch 4.4 Prelude in Violent is launching sometime in mid-September, and it'll be a big update. New main story quests, 2 new dungeons, a brand new trial, a new raid tier, PV changes, and a new Eureka installment, and much more set to launch with 4.4. It's a massive update, and I'm quite excited for it actually, as I haven't played too much Final Fantasy XIV lately, but I am hyped to jump back in with all this new content. In addition, the game's previously announced Monster of the World collaboration is arriving on August 7th and will be a permanent addition to the game, and will be available in both normal and extreme versions. There's a lot to look forward to. I am personally looking forward to playing the new raid tiers because I've done the current Sigmascape stuff way too many times and definitely got a bit bored of it, but I am hyped for the new goodies. Speaking of being excited, MapleStory 2 Closed Beta 2 officially started this last week and will run until August 1st. This is also the first time Nexon starts selling Founders Packs, and they're priced at $25, $60, and $100. Unfortunately though, all 20,000 or so Founders Packs that Nexon made available for Closed Beta 2 are all sold out already. And if I remember correctly, all 20,000 Founders Packs sold out within the first 48 hours of the Closed Beta 2 going live, which goes to show just how much hype there is for MapleStory 2. I expect Nexon will make more Founders Packs available on the next phase of testing, which is hopefully open beta. The Founders Pack includes 30-day premium access, a special emote, and a few other goodies. The premium access includes discounts on various fees, so it's not super pay to win or anything either, at least not yet. I know where when open beta is happening though, but if I had to guess, it's sometime in September or October. Next, Warlords Awakening begins early access on Steam on July 26th, and if you've never heard of Warlords Awakening, it's simply a relaunch of an older MMORPG, ELOA, which is an acronym for Elite Lord of Alliance. This time around, it's being published by Play With Interactive, which is a company best known for Rohan Online and Steel Online. Warlords Awakening is launching into early access with 4 playable races, as well as 5 classes, and a level cap of 40. If you never played the original ELOA, the game's one killer feature and differentiator was that every class has 3 different ways to play it with entirely new skill sets. Time will tell if Warlords Awakening can do better this time around though. Next up, layoffs at Trion Worlds were revealed this last week. The MMO developer laid off about 15 employees after the less than stellar launch of Defiance 2050. Unfortunately, given the grand scheme of things, it's not exactly a big deal, as Trion Worlds is, according to one source, about 240 employees, and up to 500 according to another source. So the company isn't exactly in dire straits. However, any kind of layoffs is definitely not good news. From the looks of it, I think Trove is still their best performing game. The game averaged about 4,260 players on Steam at any given time, with other players off Steam as well. The other games get way less players, but I think Arcade still does pretty decent as well though. Moving right along, Moon Legend is finally coming to Steam sometime in August. WebZen's Action MMORPG has a Steam store page up already, but beyond the month of August, no specifics have been revealed just yet. Moon Legend's been out for 8 months or so on WebZen's official site, but a Steam launch should help boost the game's numbers. I'm actually really curious to see what kind of numbers the game pulls in on Steam. While I doubt Moon Legend will have the same legacy as MMO Online, it's definitely worth checking out. It's basically a Diablo 3 or Path of Exile style game, but with more persistent elements such as an actual persistent world. Next up, we have an update for an oldie. Dungeons & Dragons Online from Standing Stone Games and Turbine launched Update 39 this last week, which is free for all VIP subscribers. Update 39 adds 5 new dungeons and makes big balance changes across the board for almost every class in the game. This one is a bit of an oldie though. It launched back in 2006 as a subscription MMORPG. It was one of the first few Western developed MMOs that embraced the free-to-play model. Though many of the things in DDO do cost money, but the base game is kind of free to play. DDO is about 12 years old or so now, and it's still running. Good for them. The game's Steam player base isn't too high. It averages about 240 or so players, but probably has some players off Steam as well though. Next, a small quality of life update for Elsword Online launched this last week, which makes Skill Slot B and Quick Slot expansions available for free to everyone. Yes, these skill slots were actually locked for free-to-play users until now, though to be fair, they were frequently available via free in-game events, but it's just weird to see skill slots were in the cash shop. The game also added a new system that allows players to skip quests, but sacrifice half their rewards, which makes leveling alts quite a bit faster. The game's old item level system has also been replaced by a combat/defense power number as well. Elsword is also a bit of an oldie, but still has a pretty loyal core player base. Next up, we have a noteworthy update for Wizard 101, a game we rarely talk about. The game launched a big update this last week, which gave the game a graphical facelift and revamped character creation and the game's tutorials. NPCs also have a better walking and talking animations, and music has also been revamped. While Wizard 101 is definitely aimed at kids, it's a surprisingly good and fun MMO. If you ever want to get your younger siblings or cousins into MMOs, Wizard 101 is excellent for that. Get them addicted early, you know? Next, Dauntless, the Monster Hunter-esque free-to-play MMO, announced this week that 2 months since their free-to-play launch happened, they've reached 2 million players, and to celebrate the occasion, they've announced their first major expansion called The Coming Storm, which launches on August 9th. New expansion adds new weapon and gear, including the first real ranged weapon to the game called the Ostian Repeater. The update also makes changes to the game's existing monster ecosystem by changing their behavior and attacks. Given how successful Monster Hunter World has been, it's not too surprising to see Dauntless do well on the PC. It's very much Monster Hunter-like experience, but free to play on the PC. Next up, a small bit of news for the buy-to-play MMO Wild Terra, which is now free to play until July 24th, which is until tomorrow. If you've never heard of this one, it's not too surprising. It's been in early access for over a year now, and it was buy-to-play for the whole time, but it never had a really big player base. In fact, there's only about 60 or so players online playing right now, despite being free to play at the moment. It's a very heavy PvP game with some PvE elements, though it's mostly PvP, but the game has been getting steady updates since release. Despite having very few players, the developers do seem dedicated to this one. If you do like what you see though, perhaps give it a try. It's free to play until tomorrow. Next up, the Culling 2 shut down this last week, and Xavier Games announced that the original Culling will be reverting to its literal day 1 state, and development will resume from there, after which the game will be free to play at some point. I don't know if any of you guys remember the original Culling, but it was one of the first few Battle Royale games out there, and was hugely popular for a while, but began losing players once the devs made some really silly mistakes with balance changes and the direction of the game. But it looks like they want to fix all those problems and try all over again. Pretty crazy, they literally just went back to the day 1 version, and they're basically starting over. I played a few hours of it this week too and had a lot of fun with it, and I do wish them luck. Next and last bit of news this week comes from Fake Grand Order, and according to mobile analytics firm Sensor Tower, FGO has generated over $2 billion in lifetime sales since launching in 2015, and is actually accelerating. In the last 3 months alone, FGO made a whopping $290 million, expected to bring in over $1 billion in 2018 alone, with June's revenue numbers coming in at $100 million. Some other interesting info, 64% of the game's revenue came from iOS, with the remaining 34% coming from Android. More surprising though is that a whopping 97% of that $2 billion in lifetime revenue came from Japan, with only 3% coming from international markets. Japanese players sure love their gacha waifu collectors. And to put that $2 billion number into context, RuneScape only made $800 million in lifetime sales, despite being out for 17 years. The entire Metal Gear franchise, for example, has only made about $2 billion or so in lifetime sales over the last 31 years as well. So yeah, mobile gaming is serious business. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO news this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Later guys.